Good morning, it's Hot Seat. I'm Scott Mitchell. We have a guest this morning all the way from Arizona. I want to introduce to our audience today the CEO of Consumer Cellular, Ed Evans. Ed, good to have you this morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. Thank you for having me this morning.
So we see your commercials. Everybody knows who Consumer Cellular is, and they're going, what's he doing on Hot Seat? But the announcement is, I think this is breaking news, you guys are coming to Oklahoma, and you're going to be bringing a lot of jobs. Tell us what's happening. We'll get to the politics in just a second, but tell us what we're going to learn next week.
Well, we're pretty excited. You know, I've got a 25-year history in Oklahoma City and raised 3 of my children there. And myself, with a private equity firm that I've partnered with for over 20 years, acquired this company a little over a year ago. We're based out of Phoenix, Arizona today. And I'm excited to announce that we're going to be building a pretty significant presence in Oklahoma City and bringing literally hundreds of jobs to the community there. It's a place that I'm near and dear to and love the labor force, love everything about it. Just excited to get back into Oklahoma City.
So the question I have, obviously, that I'll lead with is, why Oklahoma? You haven't been outside of Arizona or Oregon. You win these awards in Arizona, best place to work, all of these things. Oklahoma, well, we're a little bit to your east, of course, but why?
Well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, actually, the majority of my customer base is located in the Southeast United States, and the Midwest is the second largest portion of it. And so all of our contact centers today, and to your point, we have 1 in Portland, 1 in Redmond, and 3 in Phoenix. We're all located in either Mountain Time or in Pacific Time. And so being able to expand out our contact centers into the Midwest and eventually into the East Coast as well, it's just important for us to be able to service our customers. And we actually did a lot of outside research on what areas would make the most sense for us to expand into. And not surprisingly, Oklahoma City ended up at the top of that list. Obviously know the area very well, and there's no greater experience than having lived in it previously. But all of the research came back and told us that, frankly, that was the right place for us to go. So that's going to be our first eastward expansion, and we're pretty excited about it.
Let me ask you, you're talking about the research. We know it's a competitive business. We compete against Texas all the time. We competed on the Texas thing. This competition goes on all the time. What do you see that Oklahoma has? Give us some insight as to what our state's doing really well that helps bring businesses in like yours.
Well, I think the biggest piece is probably something that doesn't show up in the analytics all the time, and that's just the quality of life. And the fact that I lived in the city for an extended period of time, raised my children there, I know how great the people of Oklahoma are. I understand the market very well, and I understand what the quality of life is. You look at your unemployment rate being so incredibly low, and that would scare off a lot of companies thinking, oh my gosh, is there really a labor pool there for us? But in fact, that's a pretty encouraging sign to me, is relocating into the market again, is that you've demonstrated that we've got a very well-educated, high-quality workforce that's willing to go back to work right now. We've had some very challenging times in the last 18 months, and it's been incredible to see the recovery that's occurred in Oklahoma. So we want to be a part of that. We looked around. We spent a lot of times in a lot of different cities in the Midwest specifically. And at the end of the day, Oklahoma City was the clear leader. And again, some of it's tangible. You can see it in the numbers, but there's a lot of intangible benefits that I think people might miss if they hadn't been a part of the community previously.
Ed, we've got about 20 seconds. Tuesday's the big announcement. How many employees do you think you'll be employing here?
Well, it's going to be more than 100 and less than 1,000. So we're excited to announce that on Tuesday. But in addition to the number, I think people are going to be very impressed with the quality of jobs that we're bringing. We're not talking about minimum wage positions here. We're talking about our customer experience reps that make an average of $55,000 a year and have a lot of benefits and incentives on top of that. And then our customer service side is also going to be well above market. So we're excited to get in very quickly and to start hiring, and look forward to Tuesday and giving everybody the details.
All right, it's great to have you. Ed Evans, the CEO of Consumer Cellular, coming to Oklahoma next week. Breaking news right here. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
See this again at news9.com/yourvotecounts, and follow me on Twitter @MitchellTalks.